Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the Mighty Miracle God. This is the Pangu Toy 02. This is their take on a Dark Guardian, which was of course in season 3 of Generation 1 cartoons. So we've seen one of these figures before, so we are going to compare him to the actual Guardian version of him. I'm not going to do the comparisons with the New Age one because there's enough of that in its own special video with that. However, I will bring in the original, I suppose, say original Hasbro versions and Takara versions just to give you an idea of how he looks and displays. So yeah, loads to get through with this video today. So as I start to pop these back, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really does help me out. And the other is to thank Show Z Stores, which is where this came from. And as you can see, they got it to me nice and quickly. Now you see on the side of this is all the colour variations that they're going to be releasing of him. This is of course a third-party version of Omega Supreme. But like I said, it's the Dark Guardian one because of the colour schemes. So he's gonna look all purple, for those of you who remember that particular episode. And just like all the rest of the third-party companies, New Age especially, we are getting loads of coloured variants of this particular figure. The only thing that surprises me is that Hasbro and Takara have only done 2. Yet of course they were the ones that basically made it, or I suppose brought the licensing years and years back. Now once again you can see there's an abundance of accessories in here. There's the extension for the arm cannon, there's the blast effects, there's the accessories. What have we got there? We've got a different faceplate. Now at the moment it's just looking like it hasn't got the little man that came extra with the other ones. So let's very quickly, oh no, it's all sellotaped up. Bear with me, I'm going to set him free and come straight back to you. So there we go, set him free from the packaging, and lo and behold, the little robot I was referring to was behind him, but of course in the new purple deco as opposed to the blue deco that was on the original Guardian version of the figure. Now I've got to say straight off as well, wow, this colour scheme is amazing. I mean, I actually think it's better than the Guardian robot, and I mean I love the Guardian robot colour scheme, and that's probably why I went all out to try and find this e-hobby version of this. Of course we've actually had a Titan version of this figure as well, but the purple I think just looks so much better. So with regards to the accessories, we've got the arm cannon again. This lights up, the battery already comes inside it. So let's just see if I can get this to slot into place. I'm going to go through this in much detail obviously as we can. I'm not going to cover things that I did cover in the original because it is just the same mold. So what I mean by that is, as I said, I'm not going to bring up the New Age to do a comparison. That's got its own video if you want to watch that. If you want to see the differences between the Pangu and the New Age figures, it's got its own special video. Let's just see if I can get this to slot in. It is just on exactly that. It's on like a slide track, and then through this part here it should, I always say things like this, it should, but then of course it's much harder doing it on film, reaching around a camera trying to get it to line up. Let's try again because I don't want to catch that down. Why am I having no luck here? The good thing about this as well is they've already changed the claw, which I'm going to show you in a second. The first release, I believe, thank you to the person who commented for me, that that's why there's an upgrade kit, because it didn't have any articulation on the fingers. This is a joke. It's not normally this difficult, but I don't want to just pull it off screen and then quickly attach it. It should just slot into place like the old Combiner Wars figures did. I have no idea. There you are, you can see the slide track is not playing for me. Now I'm keeping it in the video because just in case you guys encounter the same problem, you'll realize that it's not just you, or maybe yours will just slide straight on, and at which point you can laugh at me. There we go, finally it went in and we can have a look. Now the other thing I've noticed straight away is this actually is much more sturdy and much more robust. I need to quickly attach these as well, and what I mean by that is, although this is obviously it's a third-party version of the Omega Supreme mold, it's much cheaper. It's well, I think it's about $100 less than what the New Age ones were, and that's exactly why I did the comparison video. But unfortunately for myself, with the Sentinel version, the limbs and everything on this, yeah, it's just maybe this mold. Maybe I was just a little bit unlucky. See how loose this one is? That's just the way he is, and I thought it was because third party or like a much cheaper version of this particular figure, but it's not. That must just be, unfortunately, a really loose copy, because this is nothing like that. You know, it isn't even flopping back when I tilt it forward. Or maybe, you know, they improved on the mold as they changed the colours. Now, the claw that I was on about is this. This does have articulated fingers. The first version of this, so the standard Omega Supreme coloured version, didn't have the articulated fingers, hence the upgrade kit. But I've still got an upgrade kit to put on here because I think it will look better with the orange claw. I'll show you that in a separate video as well. So articulation wise, the head will go around. It is slightly, oh no, it's not. You can lift it up and it'll look up and down over these parts. The visor comes up, the gun at the back is there. That's the only thing that's going to restrict you. Articulation, we've just seen, will go right out to the side. Let me just move him out of the way, but I hope he doesn't fall over, so I can get him on camera. We can then go all the way up as far as this allows you. Obviously, you don't have to have them on, so you could have more articulation. This will spin, will it? Yeah, it'll spin just a little bit. And then this one, again, just a little bit. You've got, you can see, full waist rotation all the way around. Now, there are little skirts at the front of the legs, so you can go kick all the way up. It's just like a one ratchet joint by the sounds of it. As soon as I loosened it, it was fine. You can go right out to the side. You've got your knee bend, you've got your ankle tilt, and you've got your rock. So not much more, to be honest, to show you with this. What I do want to do, though, I've just obviously done a quick comparison with that, and I think, as I say, whether or not I was unlucky with that mold or not, I'm not sure. This one is much more sturdy. Last quick time with these to give you an idea. So it's as big as a Generation 1 Omega Supreme mold, to be honest, just obviously far more articulate and not as chunky. So for those of you who do collect third-party Legends scale figures, I've just got a couple from other different toy lines to show you. So there's New Age's David, which of course is Optimus Prime. There's Iron Factory's Phantom. I was going to say Sheen, but it's not. It's Phantom Prime Factory, which is Mirage, and Magic Square's Trailbreaker. So they all scale really well. They also scale really well with the world's smallest Transformers from Takara, which you can see he just about fits on there. If none of this means anything to you whatsoever, and you only collect mainline figures, there's a core class Optimus Prime. There's a deluxe class side swipe. So that gives you an idea of just how big they are. If you're like me and collect G1 mainly, there is a Hot Rod. And indeed, there is a Seeker. So you can see quite big, to be honest. Nice and big. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to come back right now. We're going to have a look at him in his alternate mode, because that really is all I've got to show you. Okay, let's have a look at that. Right, then we're back, and he's in base mode. Quick apology, no transformation process on this video. That's because it is separately uploaded and it is a tutorial, and you will actually see the blue version of this for the transformation process, because that one's got lots of detail in it and it should help you out anyway. So the tank mode, again, is quite cool. I like the look of this. I like the way it all sort of fits together relatively well. Now, of course, don't forget, this isn't battery operated. It is just, to be fair, it doesn't even fit on there. There's not any rails for it to go. It will just go around. You've got to push it if you want to. It'll just about make its way around. You can see there is some wheels on the back, but it's not the greatest. I think this is my issue, to be honest. Even with way back in the Generation 1 versions, I think this base mode is a little bit underwhelming, and it can be. It's massively out of scale as well, but it's clever because it's all the parts, and it is basically, as I say, a huge parts former, but exactly like the original toy was. You've got there, you have the shin guards, which are the ramps. The legs, of course, are this. The back wings is the track, and this was all the chest piece. Now, the only other thing to show you is the arms, and when we come back to robot mode at the very end, I'm going to show you, of course, that I realise now that you could push this all the way out, which would, of course, give us more articulation, and indeed it would have made it easier to attach it. But there is, of course, the main, or shall we say, there is the left arm, which again is still all working with the red light. There's the right arm, and what we can do here with the extra part, of course, if you remember from the beginning, we can now, and that's what these tabs are for, we can slot this over like so, and now we've got a much bigger rocket as well. And you can also see that there is like a little drawbridge. Let me just get this to balance and hold in for a second, that you can fold out as well. So probably not, that one's getting caught, isn't it? So that one, we'll keep that one closed. I'm going to open the one at the top. These have all got them, to be fair. You can open these right out and indeed fold them out. Whether or not this one's going to actually let me, because it seems to be getting caught for some reason. Something about this is making me think that it's all upside down, to be honest. Maybe that will help it out with that going up. No, it doesn't. Let's have a look at this side. Why am I struggling with this mold so much today? I really don't know. That's going to fold, but it just feels like if I press that out, it's going to break it. So I don't want to, for obvious reasons. It just feels that way. This would be the drawbridge, which would open out. This was the extra arm part, or which of course is the extra rocket bit. I'm going to close it all up though. And I'm going to show you how it looks with some other third-party figures, because I think that if you are going to be displaying it in base mode, let me just balance that there, so it's much better with the extra part of the arm. The rocket looks, oh no, much bigger. However, that was going to be my concern. I think my concern is that because it's now got the extra piece on, it's got the weight. And the other video I only put the two together, which made it look a bit small, but this now can't really hold the weight of it. So again, all of this, I keep these all in the videos just so you get to see, you know, a true reflection of what's actually happening. So if I was to get like a new age figure again, he's huge, he doesn't look the greatest on it. And of course I've shown you a Takara Wilson-Wallace Transformer, which are great, but these are quite hard to get hold of nowadays. So you probably won't be able to find these, not at a decent price anyway. So if you are looking for a base mode and you want to set up a great big brilliant scene, then I'd suggest to go with the Doctor Wu figures, which are these. These are readily available pretty much, yeah, shows in lots of places now. Again, unfortunately, they are third party, but I'm sure you'll agree that they scale really well with the base mode. And for that reason, it's the only way that I would be displaying this in base mode now. Oh, it's sliding all over the place, but they look right. They sort of go and fit with it. There's nothing really else to say about the base, apart from, again, I think the colour scheme on it just pops. But what we're going to do now, just to finish the video off, we're going to come back and have a look at him back in his robot mode. And with the extra articulation, I can now show you on the arms as well. Right then, back for the final time with him in his robot mode for a couple of reasons. This is how I'm first and foremost going to be choosing to display him, and two, to show you the two errors that I made. Now, you may wonder why I didn't just edit the video, but because the reason I keep them in is because you might make the same mistake. So hopefully you won't. Now, the reason that I couldn't get this drawbridge to open in the segment just before was because it does actually pull out like so. Now, my copy was so tight, I thought I was going to break it, to be honest, so I didn't want to do it and again snap it on camera. I've just worked out that you can slide that right out, so now of course it will work as it is supposed to. Let me just get it in shot as a drawbridge for the base mode. I say a drawbridge or a thing which comes out. You can also of course do the same with this part. Even though it's at the top, it still does open out, slide it right out, and then you can fold this down as well. But as you can see, and the fact that my nails are about to snap everywhere, they are very, very tight. So there you go. That's that first part to correct myself. And the second is, of course, this here. When I was trying to attach them earlier, this wasn't pushed anywhere near out enough. You can see how much further that's clicked out now. So I can take this, no issue. Watch this now, watch it not go in. There we go, and attach straight away. So once again, I keep these in. So if you make, well, hopefully now you won't make the mistake because you've seen me make it for you. So this gives you loads more articulation. It gives you much more of a elbow bend, etc. And yeah, I wanted to show you that, correct myself, and show you the true articulation of the figure. So there you go, guys. Great figure, great value. Color scheme is absolutely spectacular. Loving it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.